Welcome to Disney Odd Pod.
I'm Kat.
I'm Dee.
And this week, we journey through the many phases of Emilioestevez as he takes on Iceland and himself.
D2, the Mighty Ducks.
From 1994.
The only thing tougher than turning losers into champions is doing it twice. The Mighty Ducks are back, but they're adding some new players. They're heading to California.
Let's party!
For the World Championships.
This year, the team to beat is Iceland.
They'll have to learn to become a team again.
What a great film.
A
cinematic masterpiece.
Is that sarcasm or just...
It's not the greatest movie in the world, but I really do like it.
This is a very strange movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I like it.
This is my theory about this movie. I feel as though because the first one was so successful, they said, oh, hey, Mr. Stephen Brill, crank us out another one. And he kind of didn't really put much thought.
Well, I think he was more busy putting thought into heavyweights.
Yeah.
I don't think the story is the problem with this movie. Do you think the story is the problem?
Oh, yeah. Because
really?
This movie, I've never seen a movie where so much stuff happens, but really nothing happens.
Yeah, nothing happens at all.
There's a bunch of random scenes, like, we'll get into it, but, like, okay, Emilio Estevez and the Iceland chick getting ice cream.
It went nowhere.
It went nowhere. And there's a lot of scenes like that, and just...
But she was supposed to be a distraction. That was the whole point.
Yeah, but they didn't really... I'm just saying there was a lot of, like...
I feel like it's more the direction than the story. Because, once again, they got a fucking first-time director to do this.
Yeah.
And that is what makes this a little bit of a kind of crazy disaster. It's like I had no idea what he was doing.
It's just a lot of shots on goal. And,
that's what I mean.
And not a lot going in.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you. I don't dislike the movie. I
don't.
I was all expecting this to be better than the first one, but maybe I'm just on Top Gun Maverick fever right now, thinking that all sequels should be better than the originals or something, but it's a weird movie. I think
it's a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of cool elements to it.
It's a fun movie, and I have a lot to say about it, but it's a fun movie.
Ducks, I really missed you guys. Are you ready to fly? Yeah!
I have a hard time being like, oh, this is totally flawed. It is exactly what it's supposed to be.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Does it know what it is?
I think it knows what it is. It's a cheesy sports sequel.
Okay, there was definitely more cheese in this
it's very
one.
cheesy.
And there was opportunities for additional cheese that they should have leaned into.
Yeah, they could have.
Like one key one that when we talked through the plot, I'm like, man, that would have been so cool. They should have done that.
I have a few plot points where I was like, why didn't they do that?
Yeah, there was a number of plot things that I just was like, missed opportunity, weird choice.
I'm just gonna go ahead and throw one out now because there's not an appropriate time to do it. Why didn't they throw another Hawk into the mix? The best Hawk.
Oh, like the guy whose dad was coaching or whatever?
Yeah.
He could have been like, yeah. And they focused so much on the new people and not anything on the old people.
Which I'm okay with because you already know the old people.
I know, but I don't know. And there was some weird, the two hard dudes,
the Bash Bros.
There was a little bit of
homoeroticism?
Yeah, teenage sexual tension going on there that was a little bit uncomfortable. Like the part when they're going to bed and they're staring each other down while they're drinking their smoothies
I thought
or whatever.
They were going to have a jack-off contest.
It was a little weird.
Yeah.
It was... Okay, let me read the synopsis, because it's a doozy. D2, The Mighty Ducks, from 1994. Sports, drama, family, comedy. Duck power triumphs again when everyone's... Shush. I just started. When everyone's favorite Pee-wee hockey team returns to the ice for more slap shot, action, and slapstick laughter. The Mighty Ducks are thrilled to be chosen to compete in the Junior Goodwill Games as Team USA. They'll be facing the best teams from all over the world, including the meanest team that ever sliced up the ice. Are they out of their league? Has Coach Bombay let the big time go to his head, forgetting that it's just a game? When a street hockey gang teaches the Ducks to get tough, the coach remembers how to have fun, even though he wasn't there. And the Ducks show the world the true meaning of duck power.
So this movie is funny, by the way. It's very funny.
It does have a lot of funny parts, but it's funny because it's funny in like oh my god, the 90s were so wacky, weren't they?
Yeah.
It's, so Sam Wiseman, our director, this was his first movie.
It was. And the only other thing he really did was George of the Jungle and Dickie Roberts, the David Spade movie.
And The Out-of-Towners.
Yeah, I guess.
I think that's the one with Bonnie Hunt and somebody else.
Steve Martin.
Oh, that's what it was, yeah.
And tons of TV. But this is his first movie, and it shows.
Well, and it's funny because I feel as though George of the Jungle, the one with Brendan Fraser, I think I liked it, actually. I thought it was funny.
When you were a kid, yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't
seen it. You wouldn't like
it
now.
We don't know.
No way. There is no chance.
It could be great.
No.
Yeah, it just wasn't... He's just not a very good director. Some of the choices were a little... Yeah,
and the movie was really choppy and weird.
Yeah.
It needed some help in that department.
Yeah.
The writer, Steve Brill, he basically just writes Mighty Ducks, and he had a part in Heavyweights writing it.
And he wrote Little Nicky, which is kind of a weird offbeat Adam Sandler movie.
Which is the worst Adam Sandler movie. Easily the worst one. And he wrote that, so if that says anything...
Yeah, he kind of got lucky with Mighty Ducks, and...
Probably, yeah.
Then just kind of tried to write.
He had one good idea, and somehow got to write with Judd Apatow for Heavyweights, and...
Yeah, it's just a series of circumstances.
And most of the actors we've talked about.
I really just have the new ones, except for, Emilio... Emilio Estevez is not a very good actor. I'm sorry, but he's...
This is very much fun, Coach.
Who said it was supposed to be fun?
You did, when you coached the Ducks.
Well, I don't see any Ducks here, Charlie. All I see is Team USA one loss away from elimination.
In this movie, it's bad.
He is definitely hit or miss. In certain roles, in certain movies, he does a really good job. In others, it's just terrible. Because he can only play Emilio Estevez.
Yeah.
Or the character of whatever.
The Mighty Ducks man. And then also my biggest problem was Catherine Irby.
Aw, what's wrong with her? She was the daughter in What About Bob 2 years before this.
She's a 0- in this movie.
She's a 0- I think, in everything. I think that's the point of her, is that she's a girl next door that's semi-attractive-ish, but is totally unintimidating to anybody.
She just is... She has the charisma and personality of, a wet piece of cardboard. She's
I would equate her to a kitchen sponge.
Yeah, like a moldy kitchen sponge. She's just kind of unappealing in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I agree.
That was a big problem for me. Who would have been a better fit? The chick from The Big Green.
Oh, yeah.
She would have been...
Even though she's not very good either.
No, but she would have been better because they were basically playing the same character.
I guess, yeah.
She would have been better in this part. And the only other thing that she's, I guess, known for is she was in Law and Order Criminal Intent for a long time.
Oh, was she? Okay.
Yeah, that's her... Most people who watch
To me, I know her from What About Bob.
Sure. Yeah. I don't.
As the daughter.
I can't recall. I've only seen that movie, I think, twice, and it's been a really long time.
That's criminal. I've seen that movie probably 30 times.
I believe it.
And I saw it in theaters. It's one of the best movies ever.
Correct, sir.
Oh, and then, the weird sponsor guy, that also went nowhere in this story.
Yeah, he was a huge part of the first 30 to 40 minutes of the movie, and then he just kind of slid off into the background.
But then he shows up again at the camp out, so, it's all...
Well, he was always there, but he just didn't have anything to do.
Yeah, Michael Tucker,
As soon as he gave his speech of, we don't back a loser, he disappeared.
Yeah, it's just...
what?
His character was weird.
Well, I understood his character until he disappeared. That was the weird part.
Yeah, because you would think there would be something where he would come back and be like, we're going to pull your sponsorship. You can't put on those jerseys.
It would have been funny if he was the coach instead of the lady when they needed a coach and couldn't find anybody. And they're like, come on, dude. You got to step in. And he's totally lost and they're happy to see Emilio when he shows up with the duck call. That would have been better.
Yeah, that would have been a lot better. You're right.
Yeah.
But I swear that he was going to, because even their Team USA jerseys when they played the final game didn't have his sponsorship on it.
Which is weird because that's how the world works. I mean...
So you would think there would be something like, you can't put those jerseys on.
And of course, the number one person who wasn't in the first movie is Keenan.
Yeah, and he was kind of downplayed. He didn't have as much in this movie.
This might have been his first movie ever.
Yeah, that's probably true. But he was the heckler turned hockey savior.
He's great at heckling and...
Man, my little brother can score on these guys. Man, why don't you go bother him then? I ain't even got a little brother. Hey, Jesse.
Fun as a hockey savior. I mean, if you had a career in Hollywood, wouldn't you want to have his?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's still...
He never stopped working, ever. And he stayed on Saturday Night Live longer than anybody ever.
Yeah? Is he still on it?
Yes!
Oh, my God. Yeah, I mean, he's done great, and he's a talented little feller.
Yeah, he is. So did you find any fun facts on this movie?
I found a couple.
I found a couple, but I would consider them mostly kind of stinky.
Switching goalies in a shootout is against the rules unless there's an injury. Which brings me to
one of my biggest nitpicks,
My biggest nitpicks with this movie is that girl was clearly a better goalie than him.
She deserved more. As soon as they scored 3 goals in the first half of that game, they should have put her in and they never should have scored again.
And what they should have done is either Goldberg should have been all... She's better than me, coach. Put her in. Yeah. Or if they didn't want to do that, they could. That would
have made more sense, honestly.
They could have injured him or something. But really, I think that should have been, like, when he looked up at the scoreboard, he should have said, Coach, she's better than me.
Yeah, put her in.
And she's like, put me in, Coach. Just give me a chance.
Yeah, they really needed to shine her up more. That storyline would have helped this movie
because
a lot.
Obviously better than him.
Yeah. Oh, wait. You mean she's faster and more agile? Oh, geez.
It's just, that really...
And Goldberg's number one weakness is falling over on his fat gut.
It's just... that bothered me probably the most out of this movie.
Same. That comes up again in my notes.
Sure does.
Yeah. I have that Russia was supposed to be the original enemy, but since we were trying to make friends with Russia at this time, because it was when the USSR fell, they changed it to the meaningless Iceland.
Oh my God. Speaking of Iceland, with the exception of Gunnar, none of the other players had as Icelandic last names.
Because nobody can read or pronounce them.
It's just ridiculous.
18 character last names. The Iceland uniforms were modeled after the Hawks from the first Mighty Ducks.
Of course they were.
Yeah, they're basically exactly the same.
You could have even had one of the Hawks play for Iceland. He's like, actually, my dad is my uncle. My dad is Iceland. My uncle is from Iceland or something. I don't know. And then the coach of the Iceland, Norgard, he modeled his looks and personality after Pat Riley from the NBA.
Oh wow, which they talked about 5 times in the beginning of this. Oh, Gordon Bombay, you could be a Pat Riley. Fuck off. And the team name of the Iceland Viking is supposed to be funny because they're from Minnesota and they have the Minnesota Vikings, and you're supposed to be like,
sure.
Yeah, pretty much. That's it, though.
That's all I got. Don't set that like that.
Like I said, pretty stinky fun facts. Not a lot came out with
They weren't fantastic, but that's okay.
So
so should we
what's
flying V our way through this?
Slap shot our way through this.
Puck our way through this? Play some puck, man.
No, we gotta knuckle puck our way into this.
I hate that.
I do too. I hate it so much.
It sounds like they're talking about a weird hockey camel toe. What are you doing?
Well, knuckleball and baseball is the same idea, but it just sounds gross. You can do it with a puck because it doesn't make sense, but it's not a ball.
Disney magic. Yeah. So, yeah, let's do it.
Let's net our way in. Let's high stick our way through this.
That's another nitpick, but it's fine.
Bring it in, Gordon.
Okay, Dad.
All right, way to shoot there. You look good, son.
Thanks.
Listen, I want you to remember this pond. No matter how far you go, don't forget your home.
So we open with Coach Bombay being a minor league hockey star
Yeah, after his fuzzy childhood memories with his dad or something. So fucking weird. Even though I thought they were replaying the scene from the first movie.
No, they weren't. They weren't. Because he had, after winning the championship of the Ducks, he went out for minor league hockey. He is tearing it up.
So did that happen at the end of the first movie? I must have
forgot.
Well,
they were like, yeah, you gotta do it, man. You gotta go, coach. You gotta go try out.
Oh, I must have forgot
that
part.
It's a very minimal part in the thing. It was like if they won the championship, he had to go try out. So.
Oh, okay.
And obviously then he was successful, and some dude blows out his knee.
Yeah, and all I kept thinking about during this part, I was like, ew, why is his hair so long? This is like Emilio's first hairstyle of the movie.
Emilio!
Super long and gross.
Well, at the time, that would have actually been appropriate. That would have been an appropriate haircut.
I hate it.
Yeah,
it's
gross. Fine. It just was appropriate. Coach Bombay ends up back at the shop. Charlie's working as the apprentice for Hans Jans.
But there's no Hans.
There's no Hans because apparently he was unavailable for this
Or did
movie.
he die?
No, he was unavailable.
Okay.
He was doing something else. So they made Jans, his brother, step in.
I can't. And then Charlie's mom got remarried. And this happened. It's just whole this info dump of information.
Well, I'm good with that. I like info dumps. I love info dumps in movies because it's unnecessary stuff, but question you want answered, but no time given to it.
Yeah, Charlie's mom just like, peace, Gordon, I found somebody else.
Well, Gordon was out on the hockey, you know how those hockey players have to travel, and he's getting it in on the road.
Some loyal bitch she is, that's all I'm saying.
Some loyal dick he is.
And Charlie's all, you're not my dad, Emilio is.
Yeah, so Charlie's not spending time at home. He's sharpening skates and doing more productive things than hanging out with his fucking stepdad and mom.
Yeah.
And Bombay's like, I want a bigger opportunity than this, man. I don't want to just be doing this.
I hate it. And then...
My hockey suppliers tell me Team USA is still without a coach for the Junior Goodwill Games.
Oh, sounds great. Give them a call for me, Jan. Maybe I can sharpen their skates.
Don Knox skate sharpening.
I know, it's a great skill, Jan. But I don't want to spend the rest of my life sharpening skates in this rinky-dink town. I want something better.
Jean is all talking to him about the Team USA. He's like, oh, they wouldn't want me, man. And then magically out of thin air, this guy...
Mr. Tibbles.
Mr. Creepy Hendrix Hockey Gear pops up and says, oh my gosh, I'm so obsessed with you, Gordon Bombay. You look great. You look better than your pictures. I'm in love with you.
Well, he's the marketing guy. He knows what he's selling. He's selling the good looks of Bombay.
He's in love with Gordon Bombay.
The good story of the Mighty Ducks.
No,
what else do you need?
He's in love with Gordon Bombay. That's all that this is.
He's packaging it up for Hollywood.
Yeah. And then we get the good old grabbing the gang scene where Charlie has to round everybody up.
This is one of the longest montages.
Okay.
And all the fake skating stunts.
Conveniently, everyone just has their skates hanging around, even though they haven't been practicing at all in the off-season or whatever. Like, I don't buy that.
Although this is peak rollerblade, I think, in the country. It was 1994. It had to be.
They had a callback to skating through the mall.
I mean, rollerblades at this point in time were the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, it just
and it's just everybody's doing all these stunts and jumps, and Charlie jumps over a concrete pour thing.
You know what the best part of this was?
What?
When they go up to the whatever his name is, Mr. Banks, Alex Banks, and they say, "Yo, Cake Kid, you want to play some hockey?" And there's a really kind of long pause, and he's like, "Yeah,"
but his voice cracks when he says, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah," like total teenage boy voice crack. Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Cake Eater. It's sweet.
No, they said, yo, Cake Kid.
No, he said Cake Eater.
I thought he said, yo, Cake Kid.
No, Cake Eater. Yo, Cake Eater.
Oh my god, I can't with that.
That's why I wrote it down.
Hey, Cake Eater, you want to play some real hockey? Yeah!
Because I also thought that was really funny.
Well, the funniest part of it was when he paused and he was like, yeah!
I wish I could make my voice squeak like that.
He was like, yeah!
Like, yeah, there you go. You did it.
I can't even do it, but it was just the pause and then the yeah, it was just weird.
And as an aside, Banks is such a sympathetic figure throughout this movie. It's crazy.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, he gets hacked and he plays a good role. Like, he's one of the more solid characters.
Oh, I see.
Like, and he's a good kid.
Good old boy.
Solid.
Takes one for the team.
Yeah.
Gets all fucked up multiple times.
Doesn't bitch about having to go out. Doesn't act like a bitch about it. Like, solid.
Yeah. And then these much older kids, like, try to set a trap for him, and all of a sudden there's this deep, booming voice. And
it wasn't older kids. Those were hawks.
I know, but they clearly look much older.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
They look like they're about 27.
But they were also much older looking than them in the last movie.
I know.
So
it's just not
They
right.
clearly just kept the same people. Yeah, and then this big booming voice is, what's his name?
I just call him the weird kid, the hard kid.
The hard kid.
The hard kid one. Hold on. Isn't it like Fenton or something?
Yeah, I think it's Fenton.
Fulton.
Fulton, yeah, it's Fulton.
He's
Fulton.
Okay. And, yeah, so his voice has changed, clearly.
And he disrobes them, except for their underwear, and ties them around a tree, which is hilarious.
I feel as though that's a very 90s, 80s tropey thing.
I don't think it was actually all that tropey.
Really? I
feel like it was really fun to embarrass people in their undies.
Right, but that doesn't happen in movies anymore. I'm saying it was like a
It doesn't happen in real life anymore.
Well, no, that's...
It's assault.
Yeah. Inappropriate.
So, and then we're introduced to the new ducks from around the country.
Yeah. And this is where I also noticed Emilio is definitely older than 29, as they claim to be. He looks fucking old as shit.
Yeah, he'd been doing a little coking and drinking the last few years.
I was like, you got booze face.
He had all that Mighty Ducks money. He was running around. Oh, and I think he might have been in... Oh, no, Young Guns was earlier than that. It was like 89.
It was just... he did not look right.
He was running around with Mighty Ducks money.
Yeah, it didn't look right. But yeah, we meet the new kids. You got the Miami kid, the country kid. Y'all ready to play some puck?
I love the country kid. He's hilarious.
He's horrible. I hate him.
No, I love it. I love his puck play.
Y'all ready to play some puck? Hey, look, it's Hopalong Gretzky.
That's Dwayne Robertson from Austin. He's the best puck handler I've ever seen.
And then they have the girl who's the obviously superior goalie.
Yeah.
And the enforcer kid, who I love.
Oh, yeah. And sidebar on that, I forgot to call that out. So that kid, Aaron Lohr, he was also in Newsies.
He looks familiar. Okay.
He played the character named Mush.
Mush.
In Newsies.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. And I forgot to... hang on, I want to look up something. I swear Luis was Benny the Jet from The Sandlot. But I don't know that for sure. And I forgot in between looking it up. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he's the main kid from The Sandlot.
Yeah, he's Benny the Jet. He's the guy that went pro in The Sandlot. I was like, I fucking recognize that kid. Hardcore.
Honestly, there's too many kids in this movie. I'm just all, it's that kid.
Well, luckily with the kids, we know most of them from the first movie. Like the girl from Wet Hot American Summer and all that stuff. You know?
Yeah, but you're not going to go, that's Connie. You're going to go, it's the girl from the first movie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, no, I remember Moreau from the first movie. I remember Connie. I mean, I remember most of them because we didn't watch this that long ago. And also, spoiler alert, I loved D1 and D2 when I was a kid.
Yeah, but as a layman in myself, it's not as it's like, oh yeah, it's that chick from the first one that apparently was dating the other chick, but
no, he was trying to get it, but he never got it. Never gonna get it.
And that didn't come back at all. But whatever.
Well, she was focused,
yeah, focused on that stick.
Her own stick. So they scrimmage, and it's a big shit show. And then the tutor shows up, and she's like,
she's supposed to
be
the hot, in quotations, hot tutor, but she's like the most plain looking old young person ever.
Yeah. That's where I found it weird because she looks like she's 40 in this.
But she's like 20.
But 2 years before this, she was playing like a 16-year-old.
Yeah, it's really uncomfortable. It's, she's got her scrunchy game on point. She's got her 90s floral dress over the t-shirt. She's got all the fashions.
But she's not going to let the kids get away with nothing. They're gonna do the thing. And then they do this dumb, you all have to skate as one montage. You got to learn as one. You got to do the thing. And then...
And the cheese factor here with the line dancing in skates was...
Yeah.
It was through the nose.
It was great. So then the dude shows up with the new uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody's like, yeah, except for Charlie. Charlie's like, wait, we're Ducks, bro.
No, you play for Team USA now, you fucking idiot.
Charlie, I love Charlie. He's got a heart of gold. But this is like the bad Charlie take of the movie. It's like, Charlie, no.
Yeah, Joshua Jackson, go to the corner. Like,
well, what he should have suggested and what they should have done is put like a small duck sticker on the back of their helmet. You know, like just a nod to the Ducks.
Yeah, it just, can we keep our own colors? No, you're playing for Team USA.
Yeah, dude, you're Americans. Like, get with it.
It was annoying.
This isn't the Ducks. Come on, Josh Jackson. Fall through the lake already.
Yeah, he just... It's a reference to Fringe. A real Easter egg there. And we get school, and she's wearing her most 90s teacher outfit ever. The only thing more 90s teacher could have been a denim dress with buttons all down the front.
Oh yeah, with a denim overall-ish dress with a white top.
Yeah, the other option was what she had, the floral dress with buttons in the front. That was a very 90s teacher outfit.
Which checks out.
Or a 90s church mom outfit.
Yeah.
And then the entire rest of the movie is the Junior Goodwill Games.
It is the Junior Goodwill Games. It's there's a lot going on. They fly off to LA. They immediately blow out Trinidad and Tobago, that's almost like the Jamaican bobsled team.
Oh.
Why does Trinidad and Tobago have a hockey team?
Okay, they're acting like this is supposed to be some tense thing when the skater kid from San Francisco is doing that weird shot. And I'm like, the score was like 7-0 a second ago. This isn't tense at all.
And Keenan is heckling them already, which is the best part of this scene.
Yeah. I can't even remember some of them that he said, but he had a lot of good...
He did. See, that's the thing. I wish I would have written down more of the good lines of this movie, because there's a lot of them, but it was tough to just, like, jot them all down.
Yeah. There was definitely a lot going on.
Yeah. And then we get this weird press conference. It's like a pro wrestling thing.
Yeah, because the Iceland team comes up and he's like, oh, yeah.
You suck, America. Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, and he's apparently some ex-NHL player who got kicked out because he was knocking people's teeth out.
He only played for 1 year because he was such a brute.
They give Emilio Estevez a sweet pad in Malibu.
In Malibu, yeah, right on the ocean. He's like, don't I need to be closer to the kids? He's like, oh, well, maybe I don't need to be around them for 24 hours a day. And meanwhile, in the dorm, there's just shenanigans going on.
But before they go back to the dorm, though, sensual saxophone music playing in the background. And I'm telling you, the sponsor guy is trying to seduce Bombay.
So, do you think that Malibu pad is like Emilio Estevez's actual house?
Probably.
Or one of them?
Yeah.
Or like Martin Sheen's or Charlie Sheen's, one of their actual houses?
And
that's what I was thinking. I was like, this is one of the Sheen's actual pads, and they're just trying to show it off in this movie.
It was just too much.
Because it was incredible.
Yeah, it was too much. But with the saxophone music and this, he's like, oh, do you like it? I'm like, oh, you're trying to... Yeah, it was a weird...
I can see that. I can see what you're getting at.
But then, they go back and there's the shenanigans, and we get the other weird scene we touched on earlier with the two tough dudes.
Well, I consider that all part of the shenanigans. The tough dudes are being super homoerotic. Which checks out, I mean, really.
Do you want to have some music while we fall asleep? And it's like some hard rock something. It was some dumb song. It was
what it was cheap music that they could clear. They did a lot of cheap music that they could clear for nothing in this movie, which was really smart.
Was Queen at the time not expensive?
For one, they didn't use the Queen song. They sang it to make it cheaper.
But no, it transitioned from them singing it to actual...
No, they didn't. It changed from them playing the guitar to Queen playing the guitar, but they kept singing.
Oh, okay. That was confusing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and the kids are playing pranks on one another. It's just all...
Yeah. And there's a lot of the homoeroticism. I don't know where the girls are in this whole thing.
They don't show. That's what I'm saying. It's very weird. The facing off before bed, chugging the protein shake. Like, it's very strange. And then, why did I write, ooh, Mr. Tough Guy, slick back hair?
Wait, because, hang on. Because the next scene is Bombay with the hot Iceland girl. They bump into each other. And then the Iceland coach is like, hey, bitch, get over here.
Oh, that's right. Because, he's like, ooh, I'm Mr. Tough Guy. And I'm like, could you be any more Nordic? Like, are they really hitting that hard?
Yeah, they really were. They were.
And meanwhile, Team USA is just dominating. And Emilio gets a montage of how cool he is.
I call it Hollywood Bombay.
Yeah.
He's being Mr. Hollywood.
He goes to fancy parties. He's having fancy photo shoots.
He's talking about his line of street loafers for kids who want to be coaches with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dog?
He's like, you really think there's that many kids who want to be coaches?
Just Josh Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, I know Josh Jackson. He wants to be a coach.
Yeah. And meanwhile, then the kids are going down Rodeo Drive, basically ding-dong, doorbell ditching all the businesses.
Yeah, screwing around, just fish out of water. They basically, they end up saying that they're Aaron Spelling's nephew, and they have all these hot chicks put on a fashion show for them in a very typical 90s teenage kids looking at some hot girls kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not weird at all. I mean, if they wanted to be in true 90s fashion, one of them would have gone over and given him a big kiss on the mouth, Blake Check style.
Whoa! But they get kicked out, and because he's like, oh, what about bikinis?
Yeah. And Bombay is all of a sudden on an ice cream date with Mrs. Nordic.
But the goalie girl's like, hey, I want to play.
Oh,
which is weird. Which is the most. It makes this the most fucked up thing. They set it up where this girl should have been playing.
Yeah.
And didn't pay it off at all, except for with one lame fucking jack-off attempt at the fuck off.
It was annoying.
It's like, yeah, I'm better than Goldberg. Put me in the game, stupid.
Especially during the Iceland game.
Yeah, she should have been in there to put a stop to them scoring.
And during the game, there was
Oh, wait, she did, and then she talked shit and got kicked out.
Yeah, but there was an ultimate opportunity for cheese where it was like looking at the Nordic coach, looking at Bombay. I wish that Bombay would have like popped his collar like the guy from the first movie to intimidate the Nordic coach. It would have been a great callback to the first movie.
Or have the Nordic coach pop his collar.
Either
One of the
way,
two. Somebody need their collar pop.
It would have been a great callback to the first movie.
It would have.
Ever since I can remember, I've been popping my collar. Popping my collar. Popping my collar.
So they play Iceland. Iceland out-physicals them because their goon got kicked out immediately.
Okay, the refereeing in this game was so confusing. So they get kicked out for like talking a little shit, basically, and kind of shoving them. They freaking
assault everybody.
Is this where they basically broke Banks' arm?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they basically broke his arm with a stick, and you get to go in the penalty box. Like,
for 2 minutes, yeah.
It didn't make any sense.
Here's your stick back, sir. Yeah, it was a very stupid thing. They get blown out 12-1, and the Hendricks guy is like, oh, well, we didn't come to back a loser, Bombay. What the fuck?
Even though you've, won every game so far, fuck you.
Yeah,
It's just, oh my god. So he decides to punish them with, sprints on the ice when they're already exhausted as he's standing there in his suit and slicked back hair.
Yeah, and the team comes back exhausted the next day. I'm a little confused here because at some point they confront him about his extracurricular activities. And he's like, you don't concern yourself with what I do.
Yeah, and then they get all mad, so they go away. And there's a lot of... This part is a little confusing, because then the teacher cancels practice because they're exhausted. But they go and have, like, street practice.
Well, and she yells at him. She's like, I thought it was supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Games should be fun. Yeah. And, yeah. And they're doing, like, some kind of, like, field work, like, in a football stadium for some reason. And that's when Keenan rolls up and is like, yo, why don't you play with me and my boys?
Yeah, let's go play street hockey, which is not the same thing.
I like this scene though.
No, the scene is fine, but it's just not the same as ice hockey, like, at all, but whatever.
And they gotta play the homies, and they do. And the homies are very positive towards Team USA.
Yeah, and they're
like coaching them up, like, good job, guys.
You could do it. If the guy comes at you like this, just pull his jersey over his head. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, it was very bizarre, but I liked it for some reason.
It was
really liked it.
Weird scene.
I'm gonna get you. Come here. Come here. Come here, Junior. Come here. No. Wait, kid. I'm just messing with you, okay? Listen. When a guy comes at you like I just did, you do this. Stick, gloves, and shirt.
And...
Oh, so then we cut back to the loser Bombay and Malibu getting rolled up on by Jan.
Yeah, because Jan's like, I gotta have a pep talk with you. What's with the slick back hair? Was it raining out?
Yeah. Oh, why did you have wet hair?
Yeah, and he's like, you got to teach them to fly.
You gotta be that man.
And so then Bombay has to go out and skate around and figure his life out. He's got a sunset skate with him, solo sunset skate, to figure his life out.
In the meantime, the Ducks need a coach, and they pick out McKay to be the coach.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know how to coach. What are you guys waiting for? The ice to freeze? Let's get out there.
Yeah, it would have been better to have the sponsor guy, like...
That's what I'm saying. And really...
They could have said something like, your names are on our jerseys. Why don't you step up, man?
Yeah, and really Josh Jackson coaches this game.
Then midway through, Bombay comes in with his duck whistle.
And everybody hates him still.
For a second.
But he comes down, he's like, I was wrong.
Yeah, somber Bombay.
And everybody's like, I love you, Coach Bombay.
Yeah, you're great. Oh my God. And then Flying V-Man.
Yep, they get into the Flying V, they score... And then we get this huge back-to-basics montage.
Yeah, and Adam Banks is all fucked up, and Coach Bombay's like, I saw that.
You're hurt. You can't rotate a stick.
And he's got one tear down his face. And he's like, I can't coach the Scouts. He's like, it's okay, man.
You'll have more chances. And then Charlie brings in Keenan, and he's like, yo, Knuckle Puck, check this out.
They make it to a rematch in the finals against Iceland.
Yeah, because Iceland got beat by the Russians somehow.
Yeah. But there's a weird face-off.
Because there was a fun practice, and the Icelanders showed up and like,
pop your beach ball.
Yeah. and Bombay and the Iceland coach get into it where they have to do a little match.
But here's my question, though. This is their freaking, like, Junior Olympics or whatever. How did they double book the ice?
Well, I think that is how it would be, is like from 2 to 4, these get it.
Yeah, but they were literally there with their beach ball for 5 seconds.
Well, that's a direction error.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, I was like,
they didn't show enough of the fun to make it. They should have had more than just one beach ball. They should have had a lot of stuff, but once again, just a huge direction
They
error.
were on a budget. I mean, they only had room
I don't think they were.
For one beach ball.
Yeah. And so they do this face-off thing, and Bombay is kicking his ass, so the guy hits him in the leg with a hockey stick. You would call the police and have that guy arrested at that point.
Yeah, and they just, like, let him go. Like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, you assaulted me with a hockey stick.
Yeah, he did a real Tanya Harding on him.
Yeah, he did.
Just whack. And
which, I believe... This was the same year that happened. This was probably filmed just before that, but this was the same year that
they were just like, oh, that was a really cool thing that happened. And they're like,
Galooly, check this out.
Okay, Emilio, you know that thing with Tanya Harding? I want you to go down just like that.
No. This is, I think, a little bit before that.
Oh, so maybe Tanya Harding was watching the
That's what I'm saying. Galooly,
Ducks.
check this out.
And, yeah, okay. Yeah. She was like... Oh.
She showed it to Galooly, and he was like...
She's sitting watching the TV with her frizzy hair, and she's like, that's my chance. It's perfect.
Oh, one of my favorite podcasts. The guy knows her and her coach and stuff, and it's just...
Oh my God.
It's a thing.
Yikes. So we get the final game, and noble Josh Jackson gives up his spot because Adam Banks is miraculously better now.
And he's like, yeah, it's Charlie has the heart of gold. And Keenan's just like, fuck yeah, bro, I love you so much, thank you.
Great. Oh my God. I'm sorry about your stepdad, man.
And Charlie doesn't care. He just wants to coach. Charlie just wants to have a good time. He doesn't want to go home, basically.
Yeah.
Charlie's whole goal is to not have to go home.
Yeah, because you're not my dad.
Yeah. That's
what I'm saying.
You're not my dad. Coach is my dad.
fucked up.
But he's also not my dad.
But he's my dad.
Yeah.
Dad boyfriend? I don't know. Iceland, of course, is kicking their ass. And then there's all these different crazy things. Like the guy lassos the one guy off of Connie.
Oh, you don't like the 2 minutes for roping?
I just... God.
Or where the weird part where Reed and Portman get in and fuck the whole Iceland team up somehow?
Yeah.
But they don't do that all the time? It's like, what?
They had to combine their dicks together to make it work.
But they can only do that once?
Yeah. They shot their shot.
Yeah, they shot their load.
And then it's over.
And then there's the big third period speech of like, oh man, we can do this, and they come out in duck uniforms thanks to Jans.
We're gathered from all over America, except for most of you are from Minnesota, but whatever. You know, like 79% of you are from Minnesota.
Which would actually check out because that's where you can actually play hockey. But whatever.
Oh, you mean people in Texas don't play hockey? People in Miami don't play hockey?
This was all just a ploy by them to get people to invest in hockey stuff.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it was just not the greatest.
This was big hockey lobbying the country to get hockey going for rich white kids.
Yeah. Yeah, they just have new uniforms. Like, okay. Even though most of the people playing on the ice were not original Mighty Ducks, so why did they give a fuck?
So they tie up the game, and then there's a shootout, and it goes predictably. The last shot, the girl goalie comes in for the last shot, which is just so fucking, what'd you call it, patronizing?
Yeah.
Ugh.
She should have been in there the whole time.
She should have been in there, like I said, after Goldberg gave up those first goals in the first period, it should have been her, and they never should have scored again.
Yeah, that's how it...
That would have been a better movie and a better outcome, but whatever.
And it's, you know, yay, ducks. Oh my God. And then at the end of the movie...
This is the cringiest. I'm just going to pretend like this didn't happen.
No, there's a flying airplane, and then it transitions into a flying V of ducks. And then, all of a sudden, everyone's on a camp out.
They're on a campfire singing all together, "We Are the Champions," which it absolutely does not work at all.
Including Mr. Sponsor. Yeah. Why the fuck is he there?
He's going to share a tent.
I know he is, because they made eye contact across the fire, and Emilio was like, yeah, thumbs up, man. Yeah, and he's like, don't worry, she's going to go to sleep. Don't worry, it's fine. It just, you know, or we'll make eye contact, and she'll be in the middle. It's fine. It's just...
I think she's just going to fall asleep.
It's so uncomfortable.
We are the champions.
No.
And that's it. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That's D2 in it.
They could have, you know, not had that end scene there. That would have been fine.
Could you just not?
Pretty much. Also, for the music, we didn't talk about the beginning of the movie when Bombay's all sad and injured. There was this really cheesy song. It was called "This Too Shall Pass." It was like,
oh yeah, that was bad.
This too shall pass.
Yeah,
and it was
they
like
just had some really weird music,
raining, and it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Like the melting snow, isn't it your trouble? 'Cause you and I will get
the Mr. Big Stuff song, and Emilio's getting all his fancy clothes.
Who do you think? But it was by somebody else.
Yeah. And you ain't seen nothing yet.
But it was also by somebody else.
Yeah. That's how they do it, to save money. And it was just a lot of that kind of music, you know.
A lot of that vibe.
Yep.
The characters... Same as D1 with our additions.
Yeah, the additions of Tudor Michelle, the 0 minus. I hate her so much. I really just every time she came on screen, I was like, like literally. My heart.
Well, after she.
No, I hate her.
No, I'm not saying not to hate her. But what I'm going to say is that once she coached, she only just kind of showed up on screen but didn't do or say anything.
She literally, they could have just cut out her character from this movie entirely and it would have been fine.
No, they needed something, but they needed a better person.
They could have just had John there the whole time.
No, they needed that foil, but it needed to be somebody better. It needed to be somebody more believable. They needed to pick not some kind of weird in-betweeny...
Maybe they should have had Shay from Blank Check. Maybe she'd have been on there. She could have made out with one of the kids at the end of the movie. Like,
that would have been actually perfect.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, she would have been really good. That would have been a good choice.
They needed somebody like that. Somebody likable.
Who was actually hot, too, by the way.
Yeah, she was just so...
weird.
Unappealing. And a lot of just... Ugh. She's like cottage cheese. Like, I mean, I love cottage cheese, like eating it, but she was like off grocery store brand cottage cheese.
It's like the cottage cheese that's pre-mixed with fruit. It's disgusting.
She's gross. Like, she's just uncomfortable.
And the evil Iceland guy was kind of a cheap remake of the Hawks coach, because you can't beat the Hawks coach in V1.
It's so stereotypical and uninteresting. Like, I'm the tough Nordic Iceland guy. Like, oh yeah. Like, it's just so like, ugh.
Well, don't forget his babe too that he used to screw with Bombay.
But that's what I'm saying. They only sort of did that, and then nothing came of it. Like, he could have told her some kind of, secret over, like, he could have taken her back to his sweet Malibu pad. And
who knows that he didn't do that?
No, but they could have had a scene where they're sitting in front of the fire.
That would have been better if he would have taken her back and fucked her.
And she's like, and they're laying in bed, and she's like, tell me about da-da-da. And then he, like, that's how he finds out about the flying V or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there could have been something, like, but it just was a meaningless thing.
They didn't pursue it enough. You're not wrong.
It was just, should have been better. And Jean, the Han stand-in, like, that was another kind of weird thing.
That was fine. I was fine with that.
Basically the same character literally says the same lines, teach them to fly.
Teach them to fly. So, for cinematography, it was fine. I this is why I like the street hockey thing, because visually it was interesting.
Yeah, everything else, like, honestly, just so much of the movie was just at the games. It was just
hockey, yeah.
Just kind of not that interesting.
And not realistic hockey because it was really slow.
Oh, and you mean how they kept high sticking and like just
like the guy stopping to shoot is so ridiculous. Like, you have a chance to stop and shoot. Do
you know what my Moochie moment, favorite line of, well, I don't know what Moochie moment, but my favorite quote in the movie at the end when Gunnar when a Nordic coach says, "You lost the game for me," and he says, "You lost it for yourself."
Yeah. Okay, this is really random. My Moochie moment is when Averman is interviewing Goldberg before one of the matches. It's so perfect of like a sports interview. Yeah. It's so secretly funny.
Oh my god!
Like just like low key. And then another Averman thing when they're first playing the Icelanders, and he's like, "Could you guys just take it easy?"
I just want to check.
Yeah, just want to check. That's funny. That's funny shit. Like, that's good stuff.
It wasn't bad, but there was, in terms of like scenes, I don't think there was honestly really a standout Moochie moment scene.
But there were a lot of little ones. But there's too many little ones. Like when they're talking shit to Hollywood Bombay.
Yeah,
that's really funny.
Nice haircut.
Yeah. That's good. And that was Averman again. Averman just kind of scores in this movie.
Not too bad.
With his little jokes.
Yeah. I did also, even though it doesn't make any sense and it's really stupid, the coach-to-coach face-off one-on-one scene was fine.
It was fine, but I wouldn't call that a Moochie moment.
No, it's like, but I don't know.
I like the intensity on Emilio's face. That, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Intense Emilio.
And so, surprise, disappointment, the fucking lady goalie thing, I just can't get over. I can't get past that.
Yeah, that was my biggest problem.
That was a huge L for this movie. She should have taken over halfway or 3/4 of the way through, and that should have been it.
Yeah, it just
Goldberg basically should have been a cheerleader, right, with Charlie. He should have been like, yeah.
Well, no, and he's like,
how many one-liners could he have on the sidelines if he's just
that's what I'm saying,
shit talking out of the thing and shit talking to the coach next to them?
Yeah, and he's like,
he would have been great at that.
And then there could have been something with him and Charlie where Charlie's like, we can coach together, man. He's like, coach. He's like, no, I'm management or something.
Exactly.
They could have had something like that where then, that would have been very Goldberg.
And it would have made sense. It would have made perfect sense. they just blew that opportunity way out of the water. Because Goldberg as a guy in the... Do they have a name for what those things are called? The pen?
The bench?
Is it just the bench in hockey?
No, I think it's called something.
I think it's called something too, but...
It's just called the bench, I guess.
Fair enough. I think it is. But him being like the bench clown would have been a much better angle. Having him talk shit to the Iceland coach, like I said, would have been great.
Yeah.
Would have been great. Would have been perfect.
He could have popped his little collar or something.
He could have popped his collar.
On,
he could make jokes after jokes after jokes. It just would have worked better that way.
Yeah, and telling you the line about being management, that would have been chef's kiss, but whatever. It's fine. I had the same problems, and I just wanted a little more substance, a little bit less hockey.
I was fine with it.
It's not nearly as good as the first Ducks, but I didn't hate it, but I also didn't really love it.
And I loved it, but here's the thing. I don't think it could have been as good because they needed to make it quickly or those kids would have aged out.
Yeah, definitely.
They had to turn and burn this movie or there was no movie.
I mean, they were right before Joshua Jackson's voice cracked, Right, I
mean, he was Dawson's Creek in another 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that far off. And Goldberg was smoking crack not too long after that.
Him and Emilio went and smoked crack together.
Yeah. Remade the movie. I've said it. I've said both my things. Girl goalie thing and add a hawk.
Yeah, we're in simpatico in this. We're totally in agreement. Were you able to find a budget at all?
No. The budget for this movie is clearly buried. Yeah,
but they did make $45 million gross. Yeah, $45.5 million.
Yeah. Kat, what do you think what is your rating for this movie?
This movie's pretty average for me. But I didn't hate it. I would if somebody was like, "Do you want to watch this?" I would be like, "Sure, have it on in the background. I'm gonna do a puzzle while this is going." Sure. I don't hate it, but I also don't really love it. Mm-hmm. So I gave it a 52% or 5.2 out of 10 gelled back Emilios.
I do like the gelled back Emilios. I like it a little more than you. I think the 90s nostalgia factor really ramps it up for me.
Yeah, you definitely nostalgia this hard.
Yeah, it's hard nostalgia.
This is my nostalgia for Blank Check. I feel like that's a little bit that for you.
Probably. So I give it a 71.
Yeah.
I think it's better than that. So what do you think the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie is?
I actually think it's in line with you.
No. It's in line with the first movie. Remember, the Rotten Tomatoes score for the first movie was awful.
Oh, yeah.
With the critics, it's 21%. This is not that bad of a movie.
No, it's not.
And with people, it's 59. That's fair. It's right in between us. That's fine with me. Papali. What do you want? You got what you get with this movie.
Yeehaw!
And so now it's time for Kat's favorite part of the podcast. Really? That's what we get this week is just a simple meow.
I mean, yeah. I'm ready.
So we get number 348. Oops. Which is going to be
newer. I feel as though that's going to be 2013, 2015, somewhere in there.
2012.
Ooh.
Do you got any guesses? Oops, God damn it.
2012. That's around Princess and the Frog time frame, isn't it? Tangled time frame?
Princess and the Frog is 2009.
Oh, so this is after that. I had no idea what was going on with Disney in 2012, so no.
So number 348 is Brave. Cat makes a face.
So I've seen this. Yeah, I've seen this a couple of times.
A couple of times. So
what do you think it's about?
Isn't this the Scottish lady that's a redhead? I think that it's kind of like a similar-ish thing to Mulan, but not quite with the lady fighter. I don't know. But I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah. No,
I like anything Scotsman.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
Rob Roy.
Fucking Rob Roy is awesome.
No, but it's been a minute since I've seen it, so I don't remember everything about what happens, but
this seems like basically like a home run. We're going to be watching a home run. At least a triple.
We don't know that?
I feel zeitgeist-wise, I think we're in at least a triple.
I guess we'll have to find out next week.
Mm-hmm. In the meantime, like, subscribe, send us an email, disneyoddpod@gmail.com.
If you enjoyed this broadcast, if you're feeling, generous.
If you made it this far and you had to have liked it.
Yeah, I mean, please, donate to our non-existent Patreon by giving us 5 stars. Because we don't do that shit. Just give us 5 stars and a comment. A nice one, please. We'd appreciate it.
In the meantime, this has been Disney Odd Pod.
I'm Kat.
I'm Dee.
Bye.
Boom, chakalada, boom, chakalada, boom.
You alright?
I made the reverberation on my lips tickled.
It tickled my face.
It did. Make some noise. Oh, wait, you mean the air horn? The
No. They do like the music. It's like it's like this like hype up music.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think so.
You got your thing, Pilgrim?
I write it up in advance now. I think ahead. How Emilio of me.
Yeah. Emilio!